everyone, my name is Gabby and today I'm going to be bringing you a special video as part of a collaboration called 10 for 12, which is a monthly collaboration that is hosted by Steve from the Lawn Gnome, and this month's theme is Disney Pixar films. So in today's video I'm going to be ranking my top 10 favorite Disney Pixar films. Thank you so much, Steve, for having me be a part of this collaboration. I'm very excited to dive right in and discuss all of my favorite Pixar movies with all of you, especially because I just got back from Disney World, so I am filled with the Disney energy. In fact, I'm going to put on some mouse ears now. Much better. So before I dive into my list, I feel like I should confess something, which is that I haven't actually seen that many Disney Pixar films. And if I have, it was like several years ago, to the point where I don't really remember them. So my list is basically going to be a list of the 10 Pixar films that I have seen, from like my favorite to my least favorite. Like, I probably am not the best person to be doing this collab, but I was asked to do a collab and I was like, hey, why not? And I figured I'd get around to watching some of the Disney Pixar films before I got to Florida, because I was doing a binge watch of a whole bunch of Disney films, but I just watched Disney films and not Disney Pixar films. And so the only Pixar film that I did watch before filming this video was Cars. I do have Toy Story 1 and 2 on my DVR. Haven't gotten around to watching them yet, although I feel like I have watched them, but I don't remember that much about them. But I do like remember things about them vaguely. But like, basically this is just me rambling to say that, like, don't take my opinions for much worth, because my opinions are probably incredibly not normal, and this is me just sort of like winging it. So without further ado, we're just gonna dive right in and we're just gonna wing this. Okay, so at number 10 I have Ratatouille. So I remember seeing this movie in theaters. I don't know how I felt about it when I left the theater, but I feel like I potentially enjoyed it. I remember so little about it that it just had to be number 10 on this list, because it was the only other one that I had seen that I could put on this list, and it just ended up where it did. I don't know if this is a movie I'd ever want to rewatch though, because I feel like I watched it and I was like, okay, great, but I don't know if I'd want to rewatch it. I don't know. That's so bad. I'm just like failing this. Everyone's hating me. You're leaving hate comments in the comment section. I know, I'm horrible. I know. So number 9 is Up. This movie I've heard a lot of talk about, and I actually own it on DVD, so it's another one I could have rewatched. And I know it's very sad. I remember watching it in my basement, like with my grandparents, so I don't know if I've actually seen all of it, because I was probably like running around and doing hosting stuff, if I remember correctly. But there are certain scenes of it that make me really sad. Like, I know there's like the whole montage with like Carl and his wife that's really sad, and that makes me really sad when I watch it. There's also the dog, like Squirrel, that's funny. Like, there's lots of really iconic moments from this that I ranked it at number 9 because I thought it was cute. Oh my god, this is going so horribly. Moving on to number 8, which is Coco. So this movie I actually have seen recently and can talk about. But here's the thing, I also have like a huge grudge against it, because Remember Me won the song for Best Oscar instead of This Is Me, and I hear This Is Me all the time. Like, I'm still hearing that song, and The Greatest Showman has been out 2 years later. Like, Kiala deserved that Oscar, Benj Pasek and Dustin Paul deserved that Oscar, but I don't think that they deserved it for La La Land. Like, you know, Lin-Manuel Miranda should have gotten the Oscar for Moana for Best Original Song, and like, they should have like, but whatever. That's a prejudice that I'm going to not talk about for the sake of this video. But ever since then I've been like annoyed at Coco, because I'm like, no. But the movie itself is really beautiful. I watched it in my Spanish class for the first time. I think I may have actually watched it in Spanish, but I think it had English subtitles if I remember correctly, but then I did go back and watch it in English because my mom bought the DVD, and I rewatched it when I had my cousins here, and the story is really beautiful. The editing is very beautiful, and the storyline is very emotionally gripping, and I do enjoy the movie. Like, it is very good, but I do harbor a prejudice against it that I like can't get over, because we're humans and we hold grudges, and especially when it comes to like pop culture and things that I'm very passionate about, like, it's not something I'm gonna let go of very easily. But the story is really, really beautiful, so it had to make this list. Moving on to number 7, which is Monsters University. So I remember seeing this one in theaters with my mom and my grandma, and I remember it being very cute. This would probably be a fun one to rewatch since I am going to be going off to college. I don't own this one at all. I don't know any way to get access to it other than like renting it, and I don't know if I necessarily want to do that. But I remember the story being very cute and very funny, and it made me sort of want to rewatch Monsters, Inc. I think I have the Monsters, Inc. VHS downstairs too, now that I'm thinking about it. I probably could have rewatched a lot of these, but I don't have time. So there's that, but I loved Monsters University when I first saw it. I thought it was really cute, and it actually sort of is where I found a bit of a love for Sully, that I actually have a Sully plush that's like up here. Can grab it. Oh goodness. Oh my god, there's things falling. This video is a mess. Here he is. It's Sully. Look at how cute Sully is. I wrapped him in one of my scarves because why not? Sully! And I think I got this made around the time that Monsters University came out because I was like, Sully's really cute and fluffy and blue, and I like the color blue, and he's also purple, and I also like the color purple, so I was like, why not? And so there's that. I'm not being very helpful in this video at all. I'm really not. Moving on to number 6, which is Monsters Inc. I just put these two next to each other because I was like, yeah, I like Monsters Inc. and Monsters University. Why not? But I don't remember that much about them or have like that much of a sentimental connection to them. There's that. But Monsters Inc. was good. I think it's funny. When I was in Disney World, I went to the Monsters Inc. lab floor, and like that was great. It made me sort of like want to potentially go back to those stories and revisit them. So they're on the list where they are. Number 5 is WALL-E. So I remember being obsessed with WALL-E as a kid. Like I saw it in theaters with all my friends for my birthday. I had a WALL-E toy that like talked and you press buttons, and I just love that because I was like, the robot is like so cute, and I think it was also like originally in the like intro credits for Pixar, and then they made him his own movie, and so I remember being like, he's so cute. But now that I actually think about what that movie's about, like humans that become so lazy that they just like sit on chairs and like don't move, like I feel like I just like it totally went over my head as a kid, like what that movie was actually about, and now it makes me like anxious to rewatch it because again, that's another one that I own on DVD, and I just worry because I'm like, if that's like what's happening in that movie, like that's terrifying. That's a terrifying message to be sending to kids, even though it's probably totally subliminal because I miss it as a kid and I'm a smart kid, so there's probably lots of other kids that are missing what it is that's actually going on in that movie. And I think there's probably cannibalism. I think I watched a MatPat video where they talked about WALL-E and cannibalism, and I was just like, so that made me harbor a twinge of like towards that movie. But the robots were cute. WALL-E and Eve were so cute, and I was in love with them as a kid, so it had to end up at number 5 on this list. So moving on to number 4, which is the first Cars film. This I actually watched recently and really loved. I think the message in the story is great about like how you don't always have to win, and like pride and arrogance, and Lightning McQueen as a character is really interesting because he's like super arrogant, and then he comes to this small town and he gets humbled, and he sort of realizes that he doesn't need to win to be successful, and he gets his fame not by winning but by being a good person, and that's really special about having friends and not having to do it all on your own. Like I really loved the messages. I also thought it was cool that you're dealing with like cars and Route 66. I thought that some of the like way that it was visually put together was very beautiful in like a very different way from Coco, but still beautiful nonetheless. That I enjoyed the movie, and it made me want to watch like Cars 2 and Cars 3. I love the little hippie bus. I don't know why he was my favorite when these movies first came out, because I was like, it's a bus that has like peace signs on it, and that's like around 3rd grade, and I was like all into like peace signs and hippies and like things like that. Oh, it was a weird phase, but like I liked the bus. It was also mint green. I like the color mint green. This video is a train wreck. This video is just a mess. Moving on to number 3, which is Finding Dory. Oh my goodness, I remember being so excited about this movie when it was first announced, and when it came out in theaters I went and saw it with my friend. But I remember seeing Finding Dory and I thought it was really, really cute and being really excited about it because I felt like I was bombarded with like Finding Nemo for the last several years of my life, that like getting to see Finding Dory finally felt like something new and refreshing rather than just watching Finding Nemo over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That I was very hyped for it, and it was very cute and wonderful and made my heart very happy, and this is definitely one that I would rewatch. Moving on to number 2, which is Finding Nemo. I've seen Finding Nemo so many damn times, but I actually realized that I kind of like it. Like at first there was a point where I was just watching it over and over again where I was getting so annoyed, and I was like, if I have to watch Finding Nemo one more time, because I was watching it like after I was taking standardized tests, I was watching it during field trips when we were like taking bus rides, it was on Disney Channel all the time. I like felt like I could not escape that movie, and I was like, is there anything else that I can watch besides Finding Nemo, because it felt like it was everywhere and I was getting so annoyed. But I do love this movie. It's very cute. I love the fact that Marlin goes in search of Nemo, and then you have like shark bait, hoo-ha-ha, which is like such a cute line, and Dory, like, and fish are friends, not food. Like there's lots of really good things about this movie that I love, that make me happy. Crush is great. Rode the Nemo ride while I was at Disney, so that like gave me a new love for Nemo. So yes, Nemo's great. It gets a thumbs up for me. It gets 2 thumbs up from me. And finally, The last film on this list is Inside Out. It is my #1 spot. I love Inside Out a lot, and I think I appreciate it more now that I've taken AP Psychology because I actually understand emotions because we had to do a whole chapter on that. And so I was really excited to go to Disney World because I got to meet Joy and Sadness, pictures here, and they were so sweet and wonderful and funny and entertaining. And this movie also holds a sentimental value for me because the first time I watched it, I was actually in Disneyland in California, and I was in downtown Disney. They had the AMC there, and me and my mom decided to go see Inside Out, and that was a really special moment to be like in Disneyland watching a Disney movie right around the time that it was coming out. So I really hold this movie with a close place in my heart. After taking AP Psychology, I have more of an appreciation for it. I thought it was a really thoughtful and inventive story following emotions, and I just remember being so excited to get to see it and really enjoying it once I did. So that's about it for this video. That was a complete and utter train wreck. I need to watch more Disney Pixar films, and I probably have access to watch a lot more Disney Pixar films, but I have just stubbornly decided not to. So I feel like a horrible person, but I want to thank Steve for letting me be a part of this collaboration, even though I was probably incredibly unworthy. I did it. I survived. I talked about some Disney Pixar films. I made a fool of myself. It's great. We had a good time. I'm wearing a cute shirt that I got from Disney World. It's all good. I'm wearing ears. Like, we're all good. Everything's fine. That's about it for this video. If you want to comment down below what your favorite Disney Pixar film is down below, let me know. That being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time with a new one. Goodbye! I'm trying to find